Okay, good morning, and yes, we are live. Good morning, guys. Good morning, and welcome to this amazing morning. And yes, wishing you a very happy new year. According to Hindi calendar, today is the starting of the new year. So yes, you must have did some puja, some ceremonies, some religious ceremonies today in the morning, and so did I. So it is a beautiful day to start our part 2 of the company's cost records and audit rules 2014. Good morning. Good morning, Sneha. Good morning, Swati. Good morning, Shailesh. Good morning, Varun. Good morning, Pramod. Bhavani Shankar. Mayank Pawar. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Ananyan. Good morning, Miraki. Gomathi. Good morning. Happy Guru Padwa. Oh, today Guru Padwa is also there. Gudi Padwa. Okay, Gudi Padwa. Okay, happy Gudi Padwa to all of you. Shailesh Kamli. Very nice. Good to know. Yes, today is a very auspicious day, guys. In fact, a very auspicious day. Dhirendra Kishore Kumar says, good morning. Good morning. Utkala, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yes, a very happy morning to all of you. Happy Hindu New Year. Yes, Neha. Happy Hindu New Year. Happy New Year. Prakhar Gupta, good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right. So, yes, guys, today is a very auspicious day to start our chapter of companies cost, to continue our chapter of companies cost records and audit rules 2014. So, yes, in the last lecture, we had studied the first part of this particular chapter, and I've already told you that this chapter by far is the most important chapter of our syllabus. It is the most important chapter. Why? Because in cost and management audit, you can easily find questions of about 20 marks from this particular chapter. So yes, a very important chapter from an exam standpoint. So yes, you have to prepare this chapter very well. And yes, of course, guys, today test is also there in the evening. What is the schedule of the test? So I'll show you the schedule of the test as well. Test. Okay. So today we are starting with the test. We already have the test also. Let me show you the test schedule. All right, I think test schedule was over here. Yes. So test is also there. Every Saturday, test of cost and management audit is being conducted online on the WhatsApp group. Please join the WhatsApp group and you will find the test series being live over there. Test series is being conducted for two subjects, guys. Cost and management audit paper number 19, BVM SPM paper number 20. Both of the papers taken up by me. So today is the test of today is 2nd of April. So today is test of goodwill and investments. Two chapters, guys. BVM SPM test is there today. Goodwill and investments. Two chapters test today. Today 7 p.m. in the evening. So please be live with me. So how can we join the test? If you want to join the test of SPM BVM, please WhatsApp on 9643 929913 and get yourself added to the WhatsApp group, which is specially made for CMA Final Group 4 students for conducting test of two subjects, cost and management audit and BVM SPM, and tests are going to be conducted in this manner, guys. This is the schedule of test which has already been shared with you on the YouTube channel communities tab. Please go to the communities tab. Over there, this schedule is already displayed, is already there. Please give the test religiously, properly, because once you give the test, only then will you be able to know, sir, whether our preparations are up to the mark or not. So if you want to judge your preparations, if you want to assess your preparations, then guys, test is very important. Please give the test religiously. Please give the test properly, because that will definitely help you in getting good score in your examination. Yes, sir. So test, I've already discussed about test. Now we come back to our chapter, guys, and the chapter is Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. Yes, we had studied up till rule 3 in the last session. So in part 1 of this video, we have already covered rule 3. Up till rule 3 we have already covered. Today we are going to cover 3 rules: rule 4, rule 5 and rule 6. 3 rules we are going to cover in today's session: rule 4, rule 5 and rule 6. 3 rules that we are going to cover now. Yuvraj, good morning. Vivek Lambate, good morning. Lokesh, good morning. Pabathini, good morning. Aisha, Biswajit, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yes, happy to see you all on this morning. So, Rule 4 we have already discussed. Up to Rule 3 we have already discussed. Rule 3 is what? Application of cost records. Let us quickly go through Rule 3 once more so that we reiterate our concept of Rule 3. So, guys, according to Rule 3, the concept is very, very clear. If your company's total turnover is 35 crores or more, then you are required to get your cost records prepared. You will get your cost records prepared if your turnover is more than 35 crore. Overall turnover of the company, if it is greater than 35 crores, then you will get your cost records prepared. Yes, you have to be specified in table A or table B. I've already discussed table A and B in the earlier lecture. So table A and B, you have to be part of table A and B. Overall turnover should be 35 crore or more, and then you are required to prepare cost records for the specified products, not all the products. That is a very important point which you need to note over here. So 35 crores is the turnover of the entire year, of the preceding year, and of all the products and services which you offer. All the products and services which you offer, overall turnover should be greater than or equal to 35 crores. And if the turnover is greater than equal to 35 crores, then guys, you are required to prepare your cost records. So this was the example which we had done in our earlier class. Now let's move on to, yes, the most interesting and the most most amazing rule of our syllabus, Rule 4, which is related to cost audit. Now, this rule will tell us the applicability of cost audit in our particular case. Now, guys, as I've already told you, for ascertaining applicability of Rule 4, Rule 3 should be mandatory in your case. So you should be eligible under Rule 3 to get access to Rule 4. So you need to prepare cost records first. You need to have your cost records in place first to be able to access the cost audit rule. So for having your cost audit done, the first and primary condition is that you need to be you need to be eligible for preparing your cost record. So Rule 3 should be applicable to you if you want your Rule 4 to be applicable to you. Now, if Rule 3 is not applicable to you, then guys, Rule 4 cannot be applicable to you, even if the turnover limit is higher than the monetary threshold which has been defined. So the first condition which is to be fulfilled for getting your cost audit done is that you should be eligible to be preparing your cost records. Your cost records should be in place. The cost records which have been described in Rule 3, that a cost record should be prepared by you, only then you will fall under category of cost audit. So the first condition of getting your cost audit done is that you should be required mandatorily to prepare your cost record. So Rule 3 should be applicable in your case if you want to get your if you want to check your eligibility for Group 4. So for Rule 4, okay, Rule 4. So Rule 3 should be applicable. That is the first condition which is required to be seen over here. Then monetary threshold of preceding financial year should be met. Again, just like Rule 3 had a monetary threshold, Rule 4 also has a monetary threshold. So if your monetary threshold is met in the previous year, then you are required to get your cost audit done. So two conditions to be fulfilled cumulatively. Addition sign is there in middle. Addition sign is there in middle, which means that both of the rules should be cumulatively satisfied. If you satisfy both the rules together, then guys, you are required to get your cost audit done. Your cost audit should be done if both the rules are to be satisfied. So cost audit is required to be done when both the rules are cumulatively satisfied. Then cost audit is required to be done under Rule 4. Under Rule 4, the cost audit is required to be done in that case. Okay, sir. Now the monetary threshold which is there. So yes, the first condition is that you should be eligible under Rule 3. Second condition is that you should fulfill the monetary threshold. Okay. Now, what are these monetary threshold? Now, guys, this is by far the most important topic of your syllabus. Okay. This table is the most important table which is there in your syllabus, and the implication of this table is really grave, is really intense. Okay. So please understand this table very, very clearly. Now, in the last class, guys, we had studied two categories of products and services which are there, category A and category B. So there are two tables which are given. Okay. Table A contains 6 products. Table B contains 33 products. Table A contains 6 products. Table B contains 33 products. Now, Eligibility for getting cost records prepared is to be seen cumulatively for both the tables product. Okay, so rule 3 will not be seen individually, it will be seen cumulatively, which means both the tables product. If you are preparing, if you are making, suppose, one product of table A, one product of table B, then cost records eligibility will be seen together for both the tables. Okay, there's no different criteria, the criteria is the same, therefore the cost records will be prepared for both of the tables together. There cannot be a situation where you are required to prepare cost records for table A product but are not required to prepare cost records for table B product. There cannot be such situation. Either you will have to prepare cost records for both the tables products, or you are not required to prepare either of the cost records of either of the tables. But guys, cost audit is table specific, which means table A products will be subject to different monetary threshold and table B products will be subject to different monetary threshold. And it implies that there may be a situation where you are required to prepare your cost audit, you are required to get your cost audit done for table A but are not required to get your cost audit done for table B, or vice versa. There can be such a situation. However, in case of cost record, there was only one limit, guys. There was only one limit, which was 35 crores. 35 crores was the one and only limit. Therefore, cost records threshold was 35 crores. Therefore, cost records were required to be prepared for both the tables simultaneously. Both the tables together, cost records was required to be prepared. But in case of cost audit, there can be a situation that cost audit is applicable for A but not for B, and vice versa. So there are two different set of monetary thresholds which are prescribed for table A and table B. And if you are thinking that you want these notes, yes, Vivek, I'm coming to your question only. If you want these notes I will forward today itself in the WhatsApp group. 9643929913 is the number where WhatsApp groups are there. I will forward all these notes in the WhatsApp group. But yes, today in the evening we have a test of SPM, BVM, Goodwill and Investments chapter. Please join the test and let's see who scores well in this particular chapter. All right. So now, sir, what are the monetary threshold? Now, first of all, coming on to table A products. Suppose if you are preparing, if you are manufacturing the products which are specified under table A. Table A is the regulated sector. Table A is the regulated sector. In the last class, we had already studied the items of products which are there in table A. So table A is the regulated sector. So if you are producing products which are there in table A, those will be eligible for these monetary thresholds. What are the monetary thresholds? Number one, the overall turnover of the company should be 50 crores or more. The overall turnover of the company should be 50 crores or more. Overall turnover of the company means the entire turnover of the company, including products, services, table A, not table A, table B, not table B, scrap sale, etc., etc. All the business incomes which are there, all should be totaled over here. Overall turnover of the company should be 50 crores or more. Now, guys, if you remember, under Rule C, the overall turnover was 35 crores. Under Rule C, the overall turnover was 35 crores. Under Rule 4, the overall turnover for table A products is 50 crores. So if you have a turnover of your entire company of 50 crores or more, only then will you be required to get your cost audit done under Rule 4. And the conjunction which is there is and in the chat box, please tell me, whether this and means that both the conditions are to be cumulatively satisfied, or even if one of the conditions is satisfied, that's okay. The condition should be cumulatively satisfied, or even if one of the conditions is satisfied, that's also okay. Please write in the chat box. What do you mean by this word and? Should both the conditions be satisfied together, or even if one condition is satisfied, that's also okay? Please write in the chat box. I'm waiting for your answers. And means what? Yes, Vineet, Nivedita, very good answer. The both cumulatively, Pabhathini, Shailesh, Deepika, Mayank, very good answer. So yes, both the conditions are to be satisfied together. Now, what is the second condition? And please listen to the second condition very carefully. It's very important, okay? Turnover of products covered under Rule 3 should be 25 crores or more. The turnover of the products covered under Rule 3, 25 crores is the threshold which is given over there. Now, guys, let me tell you a very important fact. Rule 3 contains the products which are listed in table A as well as table B. Rule 3 contains the products which are listed in table A as well as table B. Now, I'll give you an example over here and you need to tell me whether, according to this first threshold which we have seen, whether the company is eligible to get its cost audit done or not. Okay, sir. I'll give you an example. Okay. Please see this example and tell me in the chat box whether what is the answer. All right. All right. The question is, company's overall turnover is 40 crores. Table A products which is being produced is 30 crores. Please tell me whether cost audit is applicable on this particular company table A product or not. Yes or no in the chat box. Yes or no in the chat box whether the cost audit provisions are applicable on this company or not. Total turnover of the company is 40 crores. Table A products is 30 crores. The total of table A products is 30 crores. Please tell me whether cost audit is applicable or not. Vineet says audit is not applicable. Utkala says not applicable. Papathini says not applicable. Please guys tell me the reason as well. What is the reason? Mayank Pawar says yes. Yes means what, Mayank? Whether cost audit is applicable or cost audit is not applicable. What do you mean by yes? Not applicable? Yes. Manthan, no. Gitika says both. Vivek says yes. So Vivek, you mean that cost audit is applicable? Aisha says no. Silent lover. Wow, what a name. Silent lover. What is your real name? What a pseudo name, guys. Brilliant. All right, guys. So cost audit is not applicable in this case. Why? Because the total turnover of the company is only 50 crores. And what do we need? We need a turnover of at least 50 crores. So cost audit is not applicable for this particular table product. All right. So now I'll change the question a little bit and you have to tell me the answer. So the turnover of the company is 60 crores and table A goods is 30 crores. Turnover of the company is 60 crores. Table A goods turnover is 30 crores. Now please tell me whether the cost audit is applicable or not in this particular case. Whether cost audit is applicable or not in this particular case. I've changed the example now. Okay. Turnover of the company total 60 crores. Table A turnover 30 crores. Table A turnover 30 crores. Please tell me whether cost audit is applicable or not. Sachin Soni. Okay. Sachin Soni is the real name of silent lover. Okay. Whether cost audit is applicable or not now. Yes or no. Please tell me yes or no. So Utkala says both conditions are satisfied. Perfect. Dasudu Triveni applicable. Manthan says applicable. Swati says applicable. Yes. Very good. Superb. Superb, guys. Yes. In this particular case, yes. The cost audit is applicable. Perfect, guys. Very, very good answer. Very, very good. Now I am changing my question a little bit. Okay. Now please see my question. Now I've changed the question a little bit. Okay. I hope you can see the entire question. So what I've done now is I have chosen a company which produces two products. First product is table A product. Second product is table B product. Okay. There are two products which are being produced by this particular company. 10 crores, 20 crores, 30 crores is the total turnover of this of table A and B. And other products, the products which are not covered under table A and B, the total of that particular products is the turnover is 30 crores. So the total turnover is 60 crores of all these three products. Table A products, table B products, and other products. The total turnover is 60 crores. Okay. Now, guys, you need to analyze whether cost audit is applicable in this case or not. Whether cost audit is applicable. So, guys, my first question is, please tell me whether turnover limit is specified, is fulfilled or not. Whether the turnover limit is fulfilled or not. That is my first question. Answer is yes, sir. Turnover limit is fulfilled as the turnover limit is 50 crore rupees. And guys, let me tell you, what are we seeing? We are seeing whether table A products are eligible for audit or not. Whether table A products are eligible for audit or not. This is what we are seeing. That is the question. Okay. We are not seeing whether table B products are applicable for audit or not. No. We are not discussing about table B audit. We are just discussing about table A audit as of now. Perfect. Now, please tell me whether cost audit is applicable or not. Whether cost audit is applicable or not. Aisha says no. Manthan says yes. Swati says yes. Vivek Lambate says yes. Pramod says yes. Vineet says yes. Pramod says, oh, Pramod has given a very good analysis, guys. Pramod says, not applicable, need 25 crore for table A product. So Pramod is saying, table A product's turnover should be 25 crores and therefore cost audit is not applicable because at least 25 crores turnover is required for table A product. This is what Pramod Jadhav is saying. All right. Utkala says not eligible for table A. Okay. Pavatini says not eligible. Sachin Soni says not applicable. Shailesh says not applicable. Swati says applicable. Brilliant, Swati. Swati Dambe. Very good answer. Applicable, as she has also given the reason, guys. Bracket open, regulated plus non-regulated. She has also given the reason. Very good. Very good answer. Okay, guys, in this particular case, cost audit is applicable for table A product. But how, sir? How? The turnover limit is 25 crores, sir. And the turnover of table A in this case is only 10 crore. How is this condition met, sir? If this condition is not met, how is cost audit applicable, sir? This is the confusion which is currently there in your mind. So how the turnover limit is met? Turnover is 25 crores versus 10 crores. So how is turnover limit met? Guys, please listen to this analysis very, very carefully, okay? Please listen to this analysis very carefully. It says, turnover of products covered under Rule 3. Guys, I have not written one more word which was there before the turnover word which is there in law. I have not mentioned that word which I am mentioning now. So before turnover, there is another word which is written in law which must be there in your textbook as well, which is there in my book as well. And the word which is written over here is aggregate. So the law reads as under aggregate turnover of products covered under Rule 3. Aggregate turnover of product covered under Rule 3. Now, most students get confused over there. What do you mean by products covered under Rule 3? Does it mean only table A product? Because table A is listed over here. Does it mean only table A product? Answer is no. It doesn't mean only table A product. Guys, it says, please read carefully. It says total of products covered under Rule 3. It doesn't say that turnover of product covered under table A of Rule 3. It doesn't say like that. Right? I agree that we are wanting to find out the audit limit, applicability of audit of product A. But the rule says turnover of products covered under Rule 3, which means that we have to take the aggregate turnover of all the products which are there in Rule 3, and aggregate of all the products which are there in Rule 3 is 30 crores. Is 30 crores, and therefore it is fulfilling the condition which is specified over there of 25 crores, and therefore table A product is eligible for audit. Table A product is eligible for audit. So yes, I agree. Many students, many, Avneet Kaur, no, not applicable. Avneet Kaur, the answer is applicable. So many students face this particular confusion on this part. They fail to interpret this word of law, which says turnover of products covered under Rule 3. Guys, this means the total turnover of table A as well as table B. So while testing, while judging whether table A products are subject to cost audit or not, we need to see the turnover of table A products as well as table B products. We need to take the aggregate of both these products. That is what we need to do. So total turnover of products covered under Rule 3, which means aggregate of table A products, turnover of table A products and table B products. That is the aggregate which we need to see over here, and it should be at least 25 crores. In our case, yes, it is 25 crores because table A plus table B is 30 crores. So I hope you got the message loud and clear about the interpretation of this limb of your threshold limits, because it is very, very important to understand this limb, guys. Most students fail to understand this particular limb. So it is very important to understand this particular limb. Now we talk about the second product, the second table product. Second table product is table B product. Table B, guys, is the table for non-regulated sector. Non-regulated 33 industries are included in table B, and the turnover limits are 100 crores, 100 crores for table B for the total turnover, and turnover of products covered under rule 3 should be 35 crores. So you need to tell me in the chat box. Please tell me in the chat box. Sir, other product turnover not applicable for 25 crore. No, Shailesh. Other product turnover should not be seen, because other product turnover is not covered under rule 3. Rule 3 only has these two turnovers, okay? So other product turnover is not to be seen at this point in time. Only rule 3 turnover will be seen at this point in time. What is rule 3 turnover? Rule 3 turnover is 10 plus 20. 30 crores is rule 3 turnover. So other products is not to be seen while qualifying, while judging the limit of 25 crores. Okay. All right. Yes. Shailesh Kamli, I hope you understood. Okay. Next. Table B product. If you have table B product, guys, then table B product has got threshold limit of 100 crores and 35 crores respectively for turnover of the company, total turnover of the company, and total turnover of the products covered under rule 3. Both the turnovers are given to you. 100 crores and 35 crores is the turnover which is given in this particular case. That is the turnover. Okay, sir. Now my question to you is, and your hands on the keyboard, tell me whether this turnover is a more liberal turnover, or is it a more strict turnover than table A turnover? So my question is whether table B turnover is more strict, or is it more liberal than table A turnover? Is it more liberal or is it more strict? So you have to just write one word: liberal or strict. Table B turnover, the limits which are given in table B, are they liberal or are they strict? That is what my question is. Are they liberal or are they strict? Are they liberal or are they strict? That is the question which I have for all of you. Table B turnover, you have already seen. Table B turnover 100 crores and 35 crores. Table A turnover 50 crores, 25 crores. Liberal or strict? Aisha says strict. Meraki says liberal. Avneet says strict. Nivedita says strict. Shailesh Kamli liberal. Shipra liberal. Sneha strict. Vineet strict. Okay, I have a mixed opinion over here. No? Yes, we have a mixed opinion. Pabatini liberal. Sachin Soni liberal. We need strict. Okay. Any other answers? Any other answers, guys? Whether the limit is liberal or whether limit is strict, that is what the question is. Pavatini says liberal. Okay, guys, this limit is much more liberal than this limit. Guess it is liberal, because higher limit means lesser number of companies will fall under this category. Lower limit means more number of companies will fall under this category. So having a lower turnover, which means that more number of companies will fall under this category. Having a higher turnover means lesser companies will fall under this category. So this is a liberal limit. This is a liberal limit. And yes, guys, for non-regulated sector, we have liberal limit. For regulated sector, the sector which is regulated by law of the land, we have stricter limit. Again, the same two conditions are there. Overall turnover of the company is to be seen. Overall turnover of the company is 100 crores. Then turnover of products covered under rule 3, the turnover is given as 35 crores. Of course, both the conditions are to be cumulatively met to categorize table B product under cost audit. Now we are looking at table B product applicability of cost audit. Of course, both the conditions are to be cumulatively satisfied in this particular case. Okay, sir. So for this particular part, I have a question already constructed for you on the board. Okay. Okay, sir. Question is as under. Okay. Please see the example, guys. Then we will do the solution on the board. Okay, the example is details for financial year 21-22. So we have been given certain details for financial year 21-22. Particulars and annual turnover is there. Annual turnover, table A, table B, and other products. Table A, Table B, and other products. Table A, 10 crores. Table B, 15 crores. Other products, 26 crores. Comment on applicability of Rule 4. So you have to comment on applicability of Rule 4, which means first you need to see the applicability of Rule 4 on Table A products. Okay. Then you have to see the applicability of Rule 4 on Table B products. So first we will analyze applicability of Rule 4 on Table A products. First, we are going to analyze the applicability of Rule 4 on Table A products. Okay. Let's see what is the applicability of Rule 4 on Table A products. Okay, sir. So, guys, two conditions are to be cumulatively fulfilled. Overall turnover of the company. What is the overall turnover of the company? That is the first question that I'm asking all of you. So the overall turnover is 10 crore, 15 crore, 25 crore plus 26 crore, which is 51 crore. So the overall turnover of the company is 51 crore. And yes, this turnover is more than 50 crore. So yes, guys, the first condition which is to be met in case of Table A products, the first condition which is to be met for judging whether audit is applicable for Table A or not is 51 crore. So total turnover of the company is 51 crore. First condition is met. Perfect. Perfect. First condition is met. And TO of turnover of products covered under Rule 3. So please tell me what are the products which are covered under Rule 3. Guys, the products which are covered under Rule 3 are Table A and Table B products. The total of these two are 25 crore. Oh yes, so the condition is met. 25 crores is the turnover of the products which are categorized under Table A and B. Condition is met. So yes, cost audit is applicable for Table A. Cost audit is applicable for Table A. That is the conclusion which we have drawn. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Your answer is absolutely right. Now let me see who all, before even I had solved the question, who all had already given the answer. Vineet Agarwal, Table A is applicable. Very good, Vineet. Shipra has given the right answer again. Applicable for Table A. Very good, Shipra. Very good, Shipra. So two students, even before I had solved this question on the board, had given the answer in the chat box. Okay. So if you give the answer before in the chat box, then you will be considered as a supersonic, super intelligent, Einstein type of a kid. Okay, sir. Okay, now Table B products. Now Table B products. Yes. And I'm going to copy this over here and let's see what is the applicability of cost audit on Table B products. Okay. Yes, sir. So guys, for Table B, for eligibility of having cost audit done for Table B, the first condition is that your total turnover of the company should be at least 100 crores. So total turnover of the company should at least be 100 crores. That is the first condition. Guys, the first condition is not met. Since the first condition is not met, we are not required to see the second condition also. And we can directly conclude that cost audit is not applicable. Cost audit is not applicable. We can directly conclude that. So cost audit is not applicable. Why? For Table B product, overall turnover criteria is not met, so cost audit is not applicable. But guys, the second condition, which is the 35 crore turnover condition, suppose if we would have gone on that condition, is 35 crore turnover met or not? That is the question which I want to ask you, whether 35 crore turnover is met or not. Answer is no, sir. Even the 35 crore turnover is not met. The turnover of the products which are covered under Rule 3 is only 25 crores. So 35 crore turnover is also not met. So the conclusion is Table A products cost audit is applicable. Table B products cost audit is not applicable. That is the conclusion which we can draw from this particular example. Okay, sir, got it? So yes, guys, this is how you need to solve the practical questions. And yes, I have given you many practical questions in your in the book which is there. And guys, if you want to prepare from my book, so if you have not taken lectures from me, that's perfectly all right. If you are doing self study, then guys you can purchase my book. That will be very relevant to you, which has been derived exactly from the study material of the institute, and some useful value additions has been done in that particular book. So that book comes with a solution. You can go check out the website cacscmanikhilgupta.com. Over there you will find the book, and you can buy the book and study from the book as well. That will be useful to you along with studying these revision lectures which I'll be taking. All right, sir. So let's move on to the next rule. Yes, the next rule is rule 5. Rule 5 is on maintenance of cost records. Now the question is, sir, how are cost records to be maintained? The question is, sir, how are cost records to be maintained? That is what we are going to answer in rule 5. So we move on to rule 5. Rule 5 is maintenance of cost records. How should cost records be maintained? That is the question that we are going to answer under rule 5. So cost records are to be maintained on a regular basis. Cost records are to be maintained on a regular basis: monthly, quarterly, half yearly, and annually. So cost records are to be maintained on these 4 bases: monthly basis, quarterly basis, half yearly basis, annual basis. Your cost records should be maintained. Sir, what do you mean by cost record? What is the format of cost record? Just like we have format for financial records, profit and loss account, balance sheet, cash flow statement. So do we have such formats for cost records? Answer is no. There are no specified formats for cost records. But yes, the end product of the cost records, what should be the end product of the cost record, that we need to see now. So per unit cost of production should be computed using the cost records. Cost of sales should be computed using the cost records, and margin of each product or service should be calculated using the cost records. These are the 3 things which you should compute, which you should be able to compute in your cost records. So what is the definition of cost records? Cost records means the records which can give us these 3 figures. What are those 3 figures? Per unit cost of production, cost of sales, and margin of each product or service. And guys, please tell me, what is that one sheet which will give you all these 3 numbers? Please type on the chat box. Please type in the chat box, what is that one sheet that will give you all these 3 numbers: per unit cost of production, cost of sales, and margin of each product or service? What is that one sheet called? Okay. And that can be said as cost records for you. Okay. What is that particular? Oh, very good. Fantastic. Yes, all of us know. We will definitely know. It is known as the cost sheet. It is known as the cost sheet. Dinesh, Avneet, Swati, Vineet, Pabathini, Dasudu Triveni. Very good. That is known as the cost sheet. Nivedita, Mayank, Ankur Mukherjee. Very good answer. Very good. Superb. Yes, guys. That is known as cost sheet. And cost sheet will contain all these 3 figures. And therefore, cost sheet is nothing but the cost records for any company. And of course, cost sheet will have some backing up documents also, like ledger accounts of material, labor, overheads. All the backing documents will also be there in the cost sheet. So cost sheet will have its own supporting documents. Yes, sir. Perfect. All right. So guys, we have to prepare. We have 3 forms which are required to be prepared by us. What are those 3 forms? 3 forms are CRA1, CRA2, CRA3, and CRA4. These are the forms which are required to be prepared while getting your cost audit done. What are these forms? CRA1, item of cost to be included in the books of accounts. CRA1 will contain what are the items of books, items of cost which are to be included in the books of accounts. That is CRA1. So CRA1 is nothing but a summary of all the cost accounting policies and procedures that you should adopt. Okay. So CRA1 is the summary of the cost accounting policies and procedures which you should adopt. So CRA1 is items of cost to be included in the books. CRA2 is appointment of cost auditor. How is cost auditor appointed? In what form should the information be received from the cost auditor? That is the appointment of cost auditor. The appointment of cost auditor, you need to fill form CRA2. It is available in XBRL format. And yes, we'll be doing a full-fledged chapter on XBRL. What is XBRL? XBRL is extensible business reporting language. That is XBRL. And XBRL is the language in which these e-forms are filed with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So as ministry should know who is the cost auditor of your company. Ministry should know that. So CRA2 form will have appointment of cost auditor. CRA3 form will have cost audit report. CRA 3 will have cost audit report. So how should you express your opinion? That will be given in CRA 3. CRA 3 will have cost audit report. Sir, is there a specific format of this report? Yes, there's a specific format which you have to mandatorily follow. You cannot rebut that format. You have to mandatorily follow the format which is given in cost audit report. So cost audit report format is given in CRA 3. And finally, CRA 4. So whatever cost audit report is given by cost auditor to the management, after incorporating its comments on the cost audit report, will submit it to Government of India, central government, in CRA 4. So CRA 4 form is submission of cost audit report to the central government along with management comments. Whatever comments management has on especially the qualifications which are given by the cost auditor. So if there's any qualification which is given by the cost auditor, then guys, the that has to be explained by the management and submitted to central government. So Mayank says XBRL is long form of audit report. So Mayank, typically this long form audit report, which is known as LAFAR, is typically used in banking sector. Okay, this terminology which you are using, this is used in banking sector. Long form audit report, short form audit report. We in cost audit, we don't have these names. We call our cost audit report as cost audit report. That's it. Not long form or short form. We don't call it that. We call it as cost audit report. So our report name is cost audit report, which is to be submitted in XBRL format. Yes, simple as that. All right. So this is CRA 4. CRA 4. Okay. So guys, there are certain annexures also to be filed along with the cost audit report. Annexures will contain the details of details which are required to be filed in the cost audit report. What are those details? So there are 4 parts to the annexures: Part A, Part B, Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. These are the 4 parts which are there in your annexures. And guys, these parts will have certain details which are to be disclosed in the cost audit report. Along with cost audit report, you have to file these details as well. So Part A, Part B, Part C, the details which are there in these parts is given in this particular chart. Okay, sir. Okay, the alignment is a little weird over here, so I've realigned the parts. All right. So yes, Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. So guys, Part A is applicable to both manufacturing sector and service sector. So the details which are to be furnished in Part A, they are to be furnished by both manufacturing sector as well as service sector. Part D is applicable to both manufacturing sector and service sector. So Part A and Part D are applicable for both manufacturing sector and service sector. However, Part B is applicable only and only to manufacturing sector, and Part C is applicable only and only to service sector. So that is how we are going to bifurcate. Okay, sir. So Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. These are the 4 parts. These are annexures to cost audit report. Cost audit report will have these details which are to be filed along with the cost audit report. Now these annexures, Part A and Part B, are to be filled by both manufacturing and service sector. Part B is to be filled only by manufacturing sector. Part C is to be filled only by service sector. These are certain details like quantity details of products which are being sold, abridged cost statement, details of material utility expenses. So these information are there in your which are to be disclosed in your cost audit report. Guys, the most important part which is there, which is applicable for both manufacturing and service sector, is Part D. And yes, in the examination, your practical questions from this particular chapter will definitely come from Part D. This is the portion where all the practical questions will come. So Part D is to be studied by us in great detail. In great detail, we will study Part D. All the practical aspects of this particular chapter are stored in Part D of the cost audit report rules. Okay, sir. Now a few notes which are to be kept in mind. Annexures to be signed by one director and company secretary. So the annexures are to be signed by one director, any one director, and the company secretary. Significant variances, if there are any variances of these numbers, like details of material are there. The last year's number was very small and this year numbers are very large. If there's significant variances in the numbers from past year, it is to be highlighted. Then if the duration of the cost audit report is less than 12 months, then that is also to be highlighted. That is also to be indicated. So if the duration of the cost audit report is less than 12 months, then that is to be indicated also in the cost audit report. Okay, sir, got it. All right, now I move on to the most important rule of your syllabus, which is rule 6. Last rule that we are going to discuss today, the last rule, rule 6. Very, very important rule, guys. And yes, I'm opening my book. Even if you don't have my book, that's perfectly all right. You can open the study mat of the institute. That will suffice. Study mat of the institute you can open. Yes, sir. All right, so I move on to rule 6. Yes, this is rule 6. This is rule 6. Rule 6. One of the most important rules of your syllabus. Rule 6. Rule 6 deals with appointment of cost auditor. How is cost auditor appointed? So guys, in this particular flow chart, I have demonstrated what are the steps which are required to be taken for appointing the cost auditor. This is rule 6 of the cost audit rules. Cost audit including procedure for appointment of cost auditor. Sub rule 1. So we have sub rules of rule 6. Sub rule 1 will say the company satisfying the threshold limit laid down under rule 4 must, through the board of directors or audit committee, appoint the cost auditor within 180 days of the commencement of the financial year. So when your financial year is commencing, so usually on what date does the financial year commence? Please write in the chat box. What is the date when financial year commences? Please write in the chat box. And yes, guys, simultaneously, please hit a like button on this particular video. So in the comment box, please tell me when does a financial year start? On what date does a financial year start? On what date? Okay. Please tell me on what date does a financial year start? Start of financial year date. What is that date? Perfect. 1st April. 1st April. Everyone is right. Ankur, Mukherjee, Avneet, Sneha, Vineet, Vivek. 1st April. Yes. So guys, from 1st April up till 180 days, you have to appoint the cost auditor by way of a board resolution. Board of directors will appoint the cost auditor by way of a resolution. So the company satisfying the threshold limit must, through board of director or audit committee, appoint the cost auditor within 180 days of commencement of financial year. So the financial year in which you think your cost audit is applicable, in that financial year, beginning of the year, you have to appoint the cost auditor. Sir, how would we know whether the cost audit is applicable or not? By seeing the turnover of preceding year. By seeing the turnover of preceding year. When you see the turnover of preceding year, then you will come to know whether your current financial year is applicable for cost audit or not. Step number 2, sub rule 1A. The cost auditor must give his consent. Consent means acceptance. Consent means acceptance to appoint along with the following 4 certificates to the company. So the cost auditor must accept his appointment as the cost auditor. He should give certain certificates to the company. What are the certificates? Certificates are that he is not disqualified from being appointed as a cost auditor under the Cost and Works Accountants Act. He satisfied the criteria provided under 141, which is the eligibility criteria for auditors to be appointed. The proposed appointment is within the limits laid down under Authority of Companies Act. So guys, there are limits which are given under 141 3G, which is 20 companies. You cannot be a auditor of more than 20 companies in a particular year. That is the limit which is given under the Companies Act. So you fulfill that limit. That is the certificate number 3. Certificate number 4, the list of pending proceedings against the cost auditor or the audit firm with respect to professional conduct is complete and accurate. You have to give 4th certificate that yes, this is the list of pending cases which are due against the partners or the cost audit firm. So these are the 4 certificates which are to be submitted by cost auditor to the company's board, to the company's audit committee, once the board appoints someone as the cost auditor. These are the 4 certificates which are required to be sent. Okay, step number 3 is sub rule number 2. The company must inform the cost auditor about his appointment and file a notice of such appointment with central government within 30 days of board meeting or 180 days of the commencement of the financial year, whichever is earlier. So guys, within 30 days of the board meeting, the board meeting in which auditor is appointed, within 30 days of the board meeting, the intimation should be sent to central government that yes, he is our cost auditor for the next financial year. He is our cost auditor for the next financial year. This intimation is to be sent within 30 days of the board meeting or 180 days of the commencement of the financial year, whichever is earlier. That is the condition which is required to be satisfied. Now, I give you a question to solve, guys. Please solve this question for me. Please solve this question for me. I'll give you a question to solve. Okay. So 1st April 2022. Okay. We get to know that our audit is required to be done for the financial year 1st April 2022 to 31st March 22. Okay. We get to know that the audit is required to be done for this particular year. Now, Board of Directors had a meeting where cost auditor was appointed, and this meeting held on 15th April 2022. The meeting was held on 15th April 2022. Yes, you have 180 days to appoint the cost auditor. You have 180 days from the commencement of the financial year to appoint the auditor. You have 180 days from the commencement of the financial year to appoint the auditor. But still, what will be your limit for appointment of the cost auditor? Please write in the chat box. Please write in the chat box what will be your limit for appointing the cost auditor. What will be your time limit? Will it be 180 days from the commencement of the financial year, or will it be 30 days since the date when board meeting had concluded? It should be 31st March 2023. Oh yes, sorry. I am very sorry. It should be 31st March 23. Yes. Okay, 30 days. Perfect. Oh, wow. Very good. Brilliant answer, guys. So your 30 days will end on 15th of May 2022. So in this case, guys, 180 days will not be applicable because it says 180 days from commencement of the financial year or 30 days of the board meeting, whichever is earlier. Okay. Now, suppose your board meeting has happened. Suppose your board of director meeting has happened. Suppose your board of director meeting has happened on 20th September 2022. Suppose your board meeting has happened on 20th September 2022. Board meeting where cost auditor was appointed had happened on 30th September 2022. Even now, whether 30 days time limit will be available or not. My question is, whether now 30 days time limit as it was there over here, whether over here 30 days time limit will be applicable or not. That is my question to you. Whether 30 days time limit will be applicable or not in this case. Because in this case, guys, 30 days will lead to infringing the 180 days benchmark. So whether 30 days time limit is available to you or not, answer is no, guys. In this case, 30 days benchmark, 30 days time limit is not available. You have to freeze your time limit up till 180 days, which will come out to 27 September or 28th September. That's it. In this case, you do not have the luxury of appointing your auditor within 30 days. You do not have that luxury because 180 days is lapsing on 27th of September. 180 days is lapsing on 27th of September. So yes, you need to see whichever is earlier, whichever is nearer, you have to see that particular date. Yes, perfect, guys. Very good answer. Let me clap for all of you. Very good answer. Shipra, wrong answer. Wrong answer. Vineet Agarwal, right answer. Rajesh, perfect, guys. All right, let's come on to rule 3 now. Guys, sub rule 3 says every cost auditor appointed as such shall continue in such capacity till the expiry of 180 days from the closure of the financial year or till he submits his cost audit report for this particular year. So guys, this particular question is, till what time will the cost auditor will hold his position, will hold his chair in the company? So guys, the time limit will be from the end of the financial year. The cost auditor will be given 180 days to complete the cost audit. Obviously, guys, appointment is done during beginning of the year, but cost audit cannot start in the beginning of the year. Cost audit must start after the end of the financial year. So 180 days is given to the cost auditor to finish his audit work after the closure of the year. Okay, appointment is done at the beginning of the year, but audit closure is done at the end of the year. So 180 days is given to the cost auditor to close his cost audit. So every cost auditor appointed as such shall continue in such capacity till the expiry of 180 days from the closure of the financial year or till he submits his cost audit report for the financial year which he has been appointed for, provided that the cost auditor appointed under these rules may be removed from his office before expiry of his term through a board resolution after giving reasonable opportunity of being heard. So guys, sometimes what happens is during the middle of the year, the cost auditor can be resticated or can be removed from his position as such. If he has been found involving in some malafide activities, in some wrong activities, then he might be required to leave his position during the middle of the year. So the cost auditor may be removed from his position during the middle of the year. That is also possible under sub rule 3. All right, sir. Next, sub rule 3A. Sub rule 3A says any casual vacancy. What do you mean by casual vacancy? So guys, casual vacancy occurs when there is a death of the cost auditor, or there is some unforeseen event which has happened, because of which cost auditor is forced to leave his position as such. He has, sometimes what happens is he might have taken the audit of more than 20 companies. That can also be a reason. So casual vacancy happens for certain reasons. Let's see those reasons as well under footnote number 18. It says casual vacancy due to resignation or death or removal, resignation, death or removal of the cost auditor before its stipulated term. In case of casual vacancy due to removal of cost auditor before expiry of his term, a reasonable opportunity of being heard should be given to the cost auditor. For the reasons for removal should be recorded in writing. So what will happen if the cost auditor is casually removed? What will happen then? Any casual vacancy in the office of cost auditor shall be filled by the board of directors within 30 days of occurrence of such vacancy. So whenever the vacancy has occurred, within 30 days of that occurrence of vacancy, the casual vacancy should be filled. The auditor should inform the central government in form CRA2 XBRL format within 30 days of such appointment of cost auditor. So within 30 days, the intimation should be given to the ministry as well. Sub rule number 3B, cost statements including other statements to be annexed in the cost audit report shall be approved by board of directors. So whatever cost audit report annexures contain, okay, whatever annexures are there in cost audit report, guys, all those annexures should be approved by the board of directors before they are signed on behalf of board of the director authorized by the board for submission of to cost auditor to report thereon. So before cost auditor checks those annexures, board of directors should approve those annexures. It should not so happen that cost auditor checks the annexures and board of directors later on say, oh, these are the wrong annexures. You're checking the wrong annexures. These numbers are wrong. Should not so happen. So annexures should be first approved by the board and then they should be given to the cost auditor. Sub-rule number 4. Sub-rule number 4. Every cost auditor who conducts an audit for cost records of a company shall submit the cost audit report along with his or its reservations or qualifications or observations, if any, in form CRA3. So CRA3 is the form of submission of cost audit report, and guys, within 180 days of the end of the financial year, the cost audit report should be filed by the cost auditor to the company. Cost auditor is not required to file the cost audit report to the central government. This is the responsibility of the management. Cost audit report should be given by the cost auditor to his management. That's it. Sub rule number 5. Every cost auditor shall forward his duly signed report to the board of directors of the company within a period of 180 days from the commencement of the closure of the financial year to which the report relates, and the board of directors shall consider and examine such report, particularly any reservations or qualifications contained therein. So yes, 180 days will be given to you. 180 days will be given to the cost auditor to complete the cost audit report, and within 180 days, the cost audit report is to be furnished to the management of the company. Then rule number 6. Rule number 6 says the company within 30 days from receipt of the audit report. So within 180 days, audit report is to be given by the cost auditor to the management. Management within 30 days should file this audit report to central government in form CRA4. And management should also include one more section to the cost audit report, which is management's response on every reservation and qualification. So management should give the reasons of the reservations and qualifications of the cost auditor. Management should also state that how it has ensured that the miscompliance will not happen in future. That is what the requirement is. Provided that companies which have got extension of time for holding annual general meeting under section 96(1) of the Companies Act may file CRA4 within the resultant extended period. So guys, there are certain companies who take special permission under section 96(1) of the Companies Act to file their financial statements a little late. In that case, cost audit reports time limit is also extended by that particular time. 180 days will also be extended by that particular time. And the last sub rule is sub rule number 7. It says the provisions of sub rule 12, subsection 12 of 143 So guys, 143.12 is about fraud. Okay, fraud. If fraud is unearthed, if fraud is discovered during cost audit, then guys, and the relevant rules made thereunder shall be applied mutus mutandis, means as it is, to the cost auditor during performance of his functions under section 148 of the act. So guys, the provisions related to fraud which are applicable to financial auditors who are the statutory auditors, the provisions of fraud which are applicable to financial auditors, those should be applicable to stat auditors as it is. Those should be applicable to stat auditors as it is. The provision of fraud, the provisions of fraud which is applicable to the stat auditors should be applicable to the cost auditors also as it is. So yes, there are strict reporting requirements which are there applicable for in case of a fraud. Those are applicable to the cost auditor as well. So let us read this 143.12, which is the responsibility of auditor in case of fraud. It says, as per section 143.12, let me expand it a little more so that visibility is enhanced for all of you. All right. I hope you are able to see it now. So as per section 143.12 of the Companies Act 2013, it is obligatory. Obligatory means mandatory. Obligatory means mandatory on the part of the auditor to report offense of fraud which is being or has been committed in the company to the central government as per the prescribed procedures under these rules. This section is also applicable to cost auditor. The procedure of reporting fraud to central government has been discussed in the theory question given at the end of this chapter. So guys, whatever fraud reportings are required to be done by financial auditor, the similar fraud reporting is also to be done by the cost auditor. That is the requirement which is there under 143.12. It is applicable to the cost auditor as well. The requirement is applicable to cost auditor as well. Okay, sir. So yes, guys, today we have completed the major portion of our rules, and this is by far the most important chapter of your syllabus, guys. So please do this chapter very, very carefully, especially rule number 4 and rule number 3. Rule number 4 and rule number 3, these two rules are very, very important from an exam standpoint. This is rule number 4. This you need to really, really do well, and your practical aspect of this particular rule should also be very, very strong, because practical questions, case study based question will come from this particular chapter in your syllabus. And yes, guys, that's all for this particular session. Today in the evening we are meeting again. Please promise me. Yes, shake hand with me. Promise me that we are meeting today in the evening 7 p.m. with test of chapter Goodwill and Investments. Please WhatsApp on 964399 9643929913. WhatsApp on this number if you're not part of that WhatsApp group of CMA Final. We are meeting in the evening today for having test of Goodwill and Investment chapter of BVM SPM. And yes, next week there's a test of cost audit again. Every Saturday there will be a test alternatively for cost audit and BVM SPM. So we'll be covering all the chapters of cost audit and BVM SPM by way of test. And yes, as committed to you, I will definitely come up with the live series of BVM SPM very, very soon. Hit like button on this video, guys. Hit like button if you like this video, and we'll be meeting again. All right, everyone is shaking hand. Okay, great. So please share cost book link. Shailesh, you can have the cost book from my website CSCS CMA Nikkhil Gupta, or Amazon also has my cost audit book. You can purchase from that particular source. Two sources are there, Amazon and www.cscscmanikhilgupta.com. Book of cost audit and BVM SPM, both are there available over there, and they'll be really, really useful to you. I have picked up the entire study material. I have modulated it a bit, regulated it a bit. I mean, not regulated, but changed it a bit, modified it a bit, added certain very critical aspects in that particular module, and I have made it very useful for you, very user friendly, very friendly for students, and I've done that ways. All right. Okay, guys, see you in the next session. Bye bye. All the very best, and we are seeing each other today in the evening at 7 o'clock in the Google Meet test series of cost audit and BVM SPM. Till that time, all the very best and happy studying. Bye bye. Bye, guys.